Want to know the pros and the cons about the Navy? Well, stick around and you'll find out.
I put my life on the line. I put my life on the line. Hey. I put my life on the line. I put my life on the line.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another Military Monday, where every Monday I'm putting out good content about the military. And this video, I'm going to be showing you guys the pros and the cons about the Navy. So the Navy has a lot of ups and downs. Some days you feel like you want to stay in and do 20 years in the Navy, while other days you just want to get out as soon as possible. But in this video, I'll be sharing you guys the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I'm gonna start with the cons. First on the list, I got being away from family. In the 5 years I've been in the Navy, I've been on 3 deployments. The first one was a 10-month deployment, then I went on a 3-month deployment, and the last one was a 7-month deployment. So that's a total of 20 months I was away from family, plus like the 5 months add your underways, your duties. That's 25 months I was going away from family. So I missed out on a lot of events. I missed out on birthdays, holidays, anniversaries, even funerals I missed out of. My grandfather passed away. I was on a deployment and I wasn't able to go to his funeral because he wasn't in my immediate family. He wasn't my mom, dad, sister, brother. And that's just a lot of time away from family that you won't get back being in the Navy. It was even sailors that missed their first child birth. They wasn't able to make it to their wife's pregnancy, and that was a big deal to me. So I'm about to have my first child in a couple months, and I want to be there for my first child. I want to witness this. I want to be there when she's first born, and that's something I don't want to miss. And you can't get that back. Once that's passed, you cannot get that back unless you have another child. But it's nothing like your first child, and I want to be there. Alright, second on the list, I got working and living with the same people you work with. So imagine yourself working 14 hours straight, and at the end of the day you go down to the burden and you see the same exact people you were just working with all day. That's what I'm talking about. You can't get away from these people. You can't go home while you're out to sea. You can't go home to take your mind at ease, relax. You have to stay around these same people all the time, and that's just a problem I have. It's a lot of emotions, it's a lot of tension, it's a lot of attitudes, and you see each other every day, you're with each other every day, and that's just a big deal of mine, working and living with the same people that you work with. So another con I have is you get treated by your rank. So when I was an E3, I was 24 years old, and just because I was an E3 a seaman, I was treated like I was a 17-year-old straight out of high school because of my rank. And I don't think that's fair. I don't think you should be treated just because you a seaman. You treated like you don't know much. You might not know much about the Navy, but you know a little bit about life and what's going on. So people tend to treat you as if you don't know anything just because you're a seaman. I've seen plenty of occasions where it was a 27, a 28, 29-year-old that joined the Navy, and they're E3 and they living in a barracks with a 21, a 19, 18-year-old, and they had their own house out before they joined the Navy. But now that they're in the Navy and they're E3 and below, at 27 you have to live in a barracks. You got curfew, you can't be out late, you can't drink and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, that's kind of crazy. They treat you like you're a kid, and you could be 28 years old living in a barracks with all these rules and regulations alongside with a 17-year-old right out of boot camp. Another reason why I feel like people treat you by your rank is because I had plenty of occasions where I would walk by a higher ranking person and I would say good morning or good afternoon, and they wouldn't say anything to me. They'll just walk past me and ignore me, and I'm like, man, then you just hear me in my head. I'll be thinking that, but I ain't say nothing. And then I'm walking and I see that same person walk past a chief or a senior chief or whatever, a captain, and they saluting, and hi sir, how you doing? Just like all up in their face. And I'm like, man, you can't treat me that way. We both humans, but you treat me differently because I'm an E3, I'm a seaman. Alright, another con is a lot of people got sick because of the food on the ship. Not because the food was undercooked or nasty, it was because the food was processed and they wasn't used to eating processed food. So I had a friend from Cameroon in Africa, and she wasn't used to eating processed food. So every day she would come to me and ask me, CS2, do you have any fruit? Do you have any salad I could eat? Because this food is making my stomach upset, because she wasn't used to eating pre-cooked food, processed food. She was used to eating real food. So every day she would go to medical and get pills because her stomach was upset because of the processed food we was cooking. So that's another reason your stomach might not be immune to the food that we cook. Getting seasick is another con in the Navy. So I've been on 3 deployments, like I said before, and I still tend to get seasick to some extent. When the seas get rougher than usual, I start to get a little sick. But I hear if you take your seasick pills 24 hours before you go out to sea, that'll help. Also, eating crackers will help seasickness. As a CS and other race, even though we were getting seasick, we still had to work. We still had to finish the mission. It wasn't, oh, I had to go to my rack and take a nap because I'm sick. Everybody was sick and people were still working, and it sucks because you feel like you're gonna throw up. Your head is hurting, but you still have to work. I only seen sailors go to their rack if they were throwing up, or if it just got too bad where they couldn't even function. They was able to go to their rack. They went to medical, got a SIQ shit, and they were able to go to their rack. But other than that, if you just feel lightheaded, dizzy, and your stomach hurt, and you still have to work. Alright, and last on the list I got freedom. So we all know when you join the military, you sign that contract, you give up most of your rights. But it still sucks that you can't wear certain hairstyles. Your fingernails have to be cut to a certain length. You can't paint your fingernails. Your facial hair, you have to shave. It just sucks when you see most of your friends out in the civilian world with dreadlocks or mohawks, ponytails, or whatever, braids, and you gotta abide by these certain guidelines and regulations because you're in the military. So being in the military, most of your freedom that you used to is gone. You have to follow these guidelines and rules by the military, because some days I do want to grow my hair out. Some days I do want to have a goatee or just grow my beard out, but I can't because I'm in the military. And that's just one of the cons that come with being in the Navy and the military. Alright, so now we're going to get into the pros. I have a lot of good pros about the Navy, and we're going to jump right into it. So first off, I have retirement. The military has one of the best retirements out there. You can retire as young as 37 if you join at 17, do 20 years and get out. You can get a check for the rest of your life. So that's why I say the military is not that bad. You can do your 20 years, get out, and get a check for the rest of your life at the age of 37. And you still have time to get another career, and you can have 2 retirement paychecks as well as other side jobs and hustles. Next on the list, I have medical and dental. You don't have to pay for anything. When you go to these places, everything is covered. I got braces in the Navy, that was free. I got glasses in the Navy, contacts, that was free. If you got any surgeries you get while you're in the Navy or the military, it's covered. Everything is free. Even your family. I think I pay $11 for my wife to get her medical and dental done, and that's it. Everything is covered. Even when you plan on having kids in the military, when your wife gives birth, that's covered as well. Everything is free. Next on the list, we have schooling. You can go to school for free in the Navy. So right now I take college classes. I use my tuition assistance, and it's all covered by the military. I don't pay a dime. And if I do get out and I want to go to school, finish up my degree or get my master's degree, I can use my Montgomery GI Bill, and that's covered by the military as well. And they also pay you a check for E5BH while you're in school to cover any kind of expenses or housing while you're going to school. And say I didn't want to use my Montgomery GI Bill while I was in the Navy, but I wanted to give it to my wife or my children, I'm able to do that. So you can take that into consideration. If you don't want to use your Montgomery GI Bill or your post 9/11, you could give it to your wife or kids so they can go to college. Also, when you're on deployment, the Navy provides classes. They call them NC PACE classes, and there are courses on deployment where you could take 1 or 2 courses to get a couple of credits while you're out to sea. So make sure you take advantage of all these opportunities, because in the long run they'll help you out. So being in the military, there's a lot of discounts out there for us. So I know stores like American Eagle and Foot Locker, they usually give us 10% discounts to active duty military. There's also military appreciation days and veterans days where restaurants will give you free food. You can come to their restaurant and show them your military ID, and they'll give you your food for free. And some restaurants also give you 50% off on your meals. You can even get discounts on traveling. So like cruises or American Airlines give you deals. They give you discounts to travel being in the military. So another one is job opportunities. Once you do your 4 years and get out, if you apply for any job, you're pretty much going to get hired when they see that you have the military background in your resume, because jobs know that you'll be on time, your work ethic is excellent, and also you have that military bearing that they would love to have with their company. So traveling is a big one. A lot of people join the Navy to travel. So I've been in 5 years, and I've been to over 10 different countries. I've been all over the world. I've been to Iceland. I've been to Germany, Poland, Estonia. I've been to Dubai, Abu Dhabi. I've been to Spain, Athens, Greece. I've been all over, and that's only my first 5 years in the Navy. So imagine if I was to do 20 years, man, I could hit the whole world. Also, when you hit these countries, the ship provides MWR with tours where you can go on excursion and actually experience the culture of these countries, besides just going to the bars, drinking and getting drunk and spending your money that way. You can actually experience something the way you will remember for the rest of your life and pass on to your grandkids. Another good thing about joining the military is when you're going to purchase your first car or just applying for any credit cards or loans, when they see that you're in the military, it's a good chance you'll get approved for that because they know you're guaranteed that check on the 1st and the 15th. But you also got to watch out for this. It's a lot of car dealerships out there. We call them loan sharks or whatever, but it's dealerships out there that prey on military people because they know you're guaranteed that check on the 1st and the 15th. So they'll trap you and they'll try to get you all these good deals, and at the end of the day, your interest rates skyrocket, your monthly payments are high. Just watch out for that. Alright, so last but not least, we have the pay. So the pay in the military is not great, but it's good enough where you live comfortable. If you play your cards right and not buying a new car every couple years, buying the new Jordans that come out every month or whenever they come out, or even just spending your money out at the club, just blowing money, you can live comfortable. Ain't nothing better than security. Knowing that you're going to get a check on the 1st and the 15th of every month will keep your mind at ease. I know a lot of you guys, younger guys, won't understand this, but once you have mouths to feed, just knowing that you have a paycheck coming in a couple of weeks is important, because a lot of civilian guys out there, they don't know if they're going to get fired next week. They don't know if their job will be there. They don't know if they're going to get a paycheck, especially with the government shutdown and everything that's going on. It's a lot of craziness out there, but being in the military, you're guaranteed that check on the 1st and the 15th of every month. So that just take that into consideration when you're thinking about joining the Navy. Alright, so that concludes this video. I really hope it helped you guys out. If you're thinking about joining the military, don't let this deter you from joining. Just because they're my cons don't mean they'll be your cons as well. Everyone is different and everyone takes in their experience a little different. So if you're thinking about joining the military, do it, because if I could go back in the time, I would do it, but I would do it earlier because I joined at the age of 22. If I could, I would join a little bit earlier, but like I said, if I could go back in time, I would absolutely 100% join the military. And like always, make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. I will answer any question you may have, so please don't be scared to leave a comment. And thank you for watching my video. Until next time, deuce.